Yeah.
Right before I did my special, my closing bit I do on the show, on the special, the closing bit, I was sat with you for a fucking hour in the back room because I took it up in the main room following like D'Elia, and I just said, here we go. And man, that club can really let you know where the silence is.
Yeah.
And you go, all right. And then you're like, oh, I've been lazy. I've been performing to fans who will give you the benefit of the doubt.
Who love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they want you to succeed. But when you do a Netflix special, you need it to be strangers need to like it. Mm-hmm. That's the old Louis quote that I used to hang my hat on. They were like, why don't you work at UCB? And he goes, anyone can make them laugh. He was like, I'm famous. Like, if I go in, like, that's like making your friends laugh. This is why I do the road, the art form is to make strangers laugh.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it is to make strangers laugh.
Yeah, well, it's also, you don't want a delusional perspective. And one thing that does happen to some like Stanhope lives by it. Like, he's like, why would I go and do someone else's audience? He goes, it took me 25 years to make my own audience. I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But I really feel like to develop material, to really do it right, you got to do it in front of just regular people that aren't necessarily there to see you. And the beautiful thing about the store is if there's 15 people in the lineup or 20 people in the lineup, whatever it is, how many are there to see you? 10%? 30%?
Yeah.
20%? Like, maybe they're there to see you and D'Elia and also, Tom and also Christina. Like, they're just comedy fans. They're not Bert Kreischer fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's giant. That's giant. Because those guys that like develop like that, I've seen a few people that develop an audience and that's all their audience. And they just get real complacent, real lazy.
That's those. I mean, I say lightly because there's some internet comics, meaning like YouTube comic people that do comedy now, and some are good, and some are developing. I don't know. I was saying that to be polite, but but that one guy got booed off stage in Montreal because he's been performing to fans.
Oh well, here's the other thing about that guy. That guy goes up on a show where there's all these other comedians on, and then at the end of his set says that comedy shouldn't be about preaching. It should be about making people laugh, right? It shouldn't be about ethics or morals,
sexuality
or
race.
Or sexuality or race. It should be about making people laugh.
People pay to forget about that stuff.
Bitch, you are on stage not making people laugh. That is what you're doing.
Yeah.
You silly fuck. It is one of the silliest things I've ever seen in my life. It's like, and he's essentially a beginning comic.
Open mic. He's maybe been doing stand up 3 years tops.
So he does like videos, and the videos are very popular.
And they're
right?
funny.
Yeah.
If you're from the South, they're really funny.
Just unless someone's doing your shit, unless they're stealing from somebody else, just do your fucking act. Unless something happened before you that's so egregious and ridiculous that you feel like you have to address it when you go on stage because it's just sitting in the room.
Yeah.
And to just try to do, ever notice, when you pick up your phone, if you just try to do that and everybody's like, what the fuck? You're not going to address what just happened? Sometimes you have to address what just happened.
Yeah.
Like sometimes someone will go on before you and just eat so much shit that you have to say something. You have to say something.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
But what that guy did was ridiculous.
To tell someone what comedy is and what isn't. I had read an article about that this, I'm assuming she's a gay woman, wrote about like trashing Hannah Gadsby and going, hey, we're gay and we're doing stand-up comedy. We're not just preaching. We're doing stand-up comedy talking about our trauma, and it's working. You just don't see us. So don't write us off and say comedy's dead because you don't see us.
I don't think Hannah Gadsby's saying comedy's dead. I think journalists are saying comedy's dead, and I think we're all buying into it because these people who are writing these articles, they're not even in comedy. They're just comedy fans or fans of her. And what I think she did, and I've only seen part of it.
I saw the whole thing. I'll tell you right now, she has one joke I like a lot.
But it's whatever she did is fine. Here's the thing. It's her artwork. This is what she's doing. It's fine. Like it's if people enjoy it, that's great. But the problem with comedy is that comedy is one category. It's just comedy. But comedy could be Cat Stevens, it could be Guns N' Roses, it could be the Ghetto Boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like when you go to see music, there's very distinct genres. There's just comedy. Comedy is just comedy. Like you could go see a folk singer and what they're doing on stage, like really slow and quiet, is music. but then you go to see fucking Led Zeppelin and you go, okay, well, that's music too? How the fuck is that music too? You know, how is Motley Crue the same kind of thing as Cat Power? How is that? How are they the same? Well, they are both music. Just like we do comedy, and she's doing a version of comedy. Yeah. Some of it is really funny, and some of it is her just talking about stuff in like a very serious way. That's fine.
Yeah.
We're not against each other. This is what's crazy. Everybody's like, you know, this is deconstructing comedy, and comedy's dead now. Like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. Well, no, she's doing what she's doing. If you enjoy it, and that's what you want to see more of, go see that.
Yeah, that's what
great.
She does.
That's great.
She has a great joke about unicorns that I giggle about once a week. And I'll tell her jokes. It's not on Netflix. You can see it.
Go ahead.
And when I was growing up, I knew more facts about unicorns than I did lesbians. She goes, there are no facts about unicorns. I was just like, that's a good fucking joke.
That is a good joke. Yeah, I mean, that's her experience, right? She's a lesbian. It's hard out there for a pimp. It is. I get it. It's fucking like we are. I think people create unnecessary and artificial adversaries. I really do, and I think this is one of the ones that's going on right now in comedy. And I see it all the time with this Nanette thing. It's like stop with the art. I mean, I fall into it too. I buy into it too, and I read some of these articles. Like, comedy's not dead. What the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense.
You read the article and you start thinking she said it. Like the way
exactly.
You're like, oh, she's telling us I can't do comedy anymore. Right. She didn't say it. She just did something, and someone interpreted it that way. And
if she says she can't do comedy anymore, that's fine too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? She could just do, like, now she's famous, right? She could just do one woman specials or one person specials or one entity specials. How are we framing it?
I wouldn't even say it, Joe.
Don't say the gender.
I would be like, she does a thing.